150.
Mr. Chair.
I call the honourable member Nikki Kay.
Mr. Chair, I'm very pleased to speak on the Waitaki District Council Reserves and Other Land Empowering Bill, specifically looking at Clause 5. I just want to raise a couple of points first about the bill. I want to acknowledge the Chair of the Local Government Environment Select Committee, Nikki Wagner, but importantly I want to acknowledge Jackie Dean, because I think, as I've said before in this House, that she has done a lot of work on this bill. It's been an important local issue. We know that there were a number of provisions that related to Palmerston Showgrounds and Lot 1 DP, but one of the issues that is relevant to the supplementary order paper that Eugenie Sage has put up is about the section of land referred to as Lookout Point. And I want to go now to what the findings of the Select Committee were with regard to this land.
What are we looking at?
And I want to say that I think this issue has been settled. And I know that there has been not only another piece of legislation before the House that has looked at this issue, but not only did we hear a number of submissions, but we also had several government agencies looking at this, including Land Information New Zealand, Department of Conservation, the Commissioner of Crown Lands. We've also had submissions from the Council on this issue. And I want to just touch specifically on the commentary regarding Lookout Point and raise this issue. Obviously, there was an issue about what the status of that land was. And what we found with regard to this matter was that in 1937, by order in council, the Lookout Point land was set apart as reserves for an endowment in aid of the funds of the Oamaru Borough Council, and erroneously made subject to title, which was issued in 1942, the land now comprising computer freehold register. Not going to mention the name, but I think we did settle this issue. And from my perspective, the Select Committee spent a lot of time going through the records via Land Information to resolve it. And I think acknowledge that Eugenie Sage has had that supplementary order paper, but I think it has been very clear that the confusion of the status did arise out of semantics, that the land was reserved as endowment in 1885. It was not intended that the land was classified as a reserve itself. It was the case that we received extensive advice on this, and this is based not only on the evidence of submitters, but also the advice from officials. So while I understand there's been a long history to this issue, I really believe that not only has the local member done a huge amount herself in terms of locally, but also that this committee and another piece of legislation has looked at this issue so thoroughly. And we have found that we believe the confusion arose out of semantics. And I understand that the supplementary order paper is here today because Eugenie Sage, and I am interested to hear what she says on the matter, but it is quite difficult to see how that supplementary order paper can be before this House, given that we have had evidence from so many different agencies, given that they have gone back through the records, given that we've had another parliamentary process around it. I do believe that this issue is an important issue locally for the people of Oamaru, and I do believe that through this bill, Parliament has the opportunity to clarify the status of this land, and through substantive evidence, we have come to the conclusion, as I said before, that the confusion arose out of semantics, and that from our advice, we have concluded that Lookout Point is not a reserve, and we have confirmed it as being invested in an endowment in the Council in aid of borough funds. So, Mr. Chair, I realise it is a long road to have got here. I respect the submissions that have come to the Select Committee. I respect the fact that one member of the Select Committee has taken a different view, and I'm interested to hear that. But I think for the people of Oamaru, for the local member Jackie Dean, who spent a lot of time working on this issue, that this issue has been resolved, and that it is important that members of Parliament recognise the huge amount of evidence and the huge amount of work that has gone it has happened by a number of government agencies to clarify that land. And I'm confident, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, that we can finally settle this issue by the bill addressing the clerical error made in 1937 by clarifying the status of the land as an endowment. Mr. Chair, I'm pleased to say that I do support this clarification for the people of Oamaru, for the fact that there has been so much resource gone into this. And members opposite laugh, actually. Members opposite laugh, but actually it was a very collaborative process, and so many people have put energy into clarifying this. And when I say that it is important for the people of Oamaru, I ask members to go back through the press clippings and see how often this issue, as I have, has been raised, and see that it has been going on for a long period of time, and it's time we resolve this issue once and for all. That's what we're doing through this bill, through an evidence-based process. I'm pleased to support this bill.
I call the honourable member Eugenie Sage. Tēnā koe, Ms Sage.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Chair, and thank you.